Let me tell you a secret. Some parents don't control you with fists or screaming. They control you with a sentence that sounds loving on the surface, but hits like a chain around your throat. I'm doing this because I love you. And if you grew up hearing that line, you might still feel guilty today for wanting basic things like privacy, boundaries, or a life that's actually yours. Before we start, be honest with me. Have you ever heard your parents say something like, I'm doing this for your own good, or I'm doing this because I love you right after they crossed your boundaries? Come on, Y if yes, N if no. This video is not about hating parents. It's not about blaming them for everything. It's about naming a pattern that quietly destroys confidence. Emotional manipulation disguised as love. Because real love protects your dignity. Manipulation uses love as a weapon. Here's how it usually works. You want to make a choice your major. Your job, your partner, your hairstyle, your friends, the way you spend your money, the city you live in. You're not asking for permission, you're asking for respect. And the moment you push back, you get hit with the guilt hammer. After everything I've done for you, I sacrificed my whole life for you. I'm only strict because I love you. If you loved me, you wouldn't do this. And suddenly the conversation is no longer about your decision. It becomes a courtroom where you're the criminal and they're the victim. Let's break down why that line is so powerful. I'm doing this because I love you creates two traps at the same time. Trap number one. It frames their control as care. If you resist, you look ungrateful. If you comply, you slowly lose yourself. Trap number two. It flips the burden onto you. Now, you don't just have to decide what's right for your life. You have to manage their feelings, their pride, their fear, their reputation, their anxiety. Your life becomes a service job. Your role is to keep them calm. And the more you try to be a good child, the more you get trained to be a people pleaser who feels guilty for having needs. Now, I want to make something very clear. Not every strict parent is manipulative. Discipline can be healthy. Guidance can be loving. The difference is simple. Healthy parenting teaches you to think. Manipulative parenting teaches you to obey. Healthy parenting explains and listens. Manipulative parenting uses guilt, fear, and shame. Here are the clearest signs that the sentence, I'm doing this because I love you, is being used as emotional manipulation. Sign 1. They don't respect your boundaries. Then call it love. You say, please don't read my messages. They reply, I'm your parent. I have a right. Then they add the sugar. I only do this because I love you. No. Love is not surveillance. Love is trust with guidance. Sign 2. Your feelings are dismissed as disrespect. You calmly say, that hurt me. They respond, how dare you talk back? In a healthy relationship, feelings are information. In a manipulative one, feelings are treated like rebellion. Sign 3. They make you responsible for their emotions. They cry, sulk, threaten, or rage until you submit. They don't say, I'm scared, help me understand. They say, if you do this, you'll break my heart. That's not communication. That's emotional hostage taking. Sign 4. They use sacrifice as debt. Yes, parents sacrifice. That's part of parenting. But sacrifice should be a gift, not a bill. When they say, I fed you, I raised you, you owe me your life, they're turning love into a contract, and contracts kill closeness. Sign 5. They care more about reputation than your well-being. What will people say? You're embarrassing the family. You'll shame us. Notice how the center is not your health, your dreams, or your happiness. The center is their image. Quick checkpoint. Have you experienced at least one of these signs? Boundary violations, dismissed feelings, emotional hostage taking, sacrifice debt, or reputation control? Come on. Y if yes. N if no. Now let's talk about the real damage of this pattern, because it's not just annoying. It shapes your entire personality. When you grow up with guilt-based control, you often become an adult who over-explains everything to avoid conflict, feels anxious when someone is upset even if you did nothing wrong, has trouble making decisions without approval, attracts controlling partners and friends because your boundaries are weak, feels guilty for resting, for saying no, for choosing yourself, keeps chasing love by proving your worth. And that's the tragedy. You can love your parents and still admit that the way they express love trained you to abandon yourself. So what do you do? How do you set boundaries with parents, especially in cultures where respect often means obedience, without turning your life into a war? Here's the path. It's not easy, but it's clean. Step 1. Separate love from control. You can love them and still say, "This behavior is not okay." You can respect them and still say, "This decision is mine." Respect is not slavery. Love is not ownership. Step 2. Stop arguing facts and start stating boundaries. Most people lose because they try to convince parents logically. But manipulation doesn't run on logic, it runs on guilt. So instead of debating for 2 hours, use short sentences. Examples. I hear you. I'm still choosing this. I understand you're worried. I'm not changing my decision. I appreciate what you've done. I'm still an adult making my own choice. Short, calm, repeated, no essay. Step 3. Don't accept guilt as a valid argument. Guilt is a feeling, not a reason. If they say, "You're hurting me," you can respond, "I'm sorry you feel hurt. I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm doing this to live my life." You acknowledge emotion without surrendering your choice. Step 4. Build independence in real life, not just in words. If you rely on them for everything, money, housing, approval, your boundaries will always be weak. Even small steps matter. Separate finances, your own routines, your own decisions, your own support system. Independence reduces manipulation. Step 5. Change how you respond to emotional pressure. Manipulative patterns survive on your reaction. If they cry and you immediately panic and submit, the pattern continues. Instead, practice staying calm. Let them be uncomfortable. Discomfort is not danger. Now, I want to give you 3 powerful scripts you can use when they hit you with, "I'm doing this because I love you." Script 1. The respectful boundary. I believe you love me, but love doesn't mean controlling my choices. I'm deciding this for myself. Script 2. The guilt shield. I'm grateful for what you've done. Gratitude doesn't mean I give up my adulthood. Script 3. The calm repeat. I hear you. My answer is the same. Then stop talking. Repeat it as many times as necessary. Don't get dragged into a debate designed to exhaust you. And here's an important truth. When you start setting boundaries, some parents will react badly at first. They might accuse you of being selfish. They might say you're ungrateful. They might bring up the past. That doesn't automatically mean you're wrong. It often means the old system where they had full control is being challenged. This is where many people collapse. They mistake conflict for disrespect. But sometimes conflict is just the sound of a boundary being born. Now, I'll add something mature. Sometimes parents manipulate because they're scared. Scared you'll fail, scared you'll leave, scared they'll lose, meaning their fear is real, but your life is real too. You're not a therapy tool for their anxiety. You can empathize without surrendering. Final checkpoint. Do you want part 2 where I give you 3 full conversations? 1. Choosing your partner. 2. Choosing your career. 3. Moving out so you can set boundaries without exploding or cutting them off? Comment why if you want it, and if you don't. Let me close with this. Real love helps you become more you. Control forces you to become smaller. If your parents truly love you, the healthiest gift you can give them and yourself is a version of you that is honest, grown, and free. Boundaries are not rejection. Boundaries are the way you keep love from turning into a cage.